Ready?
It's there we go. We are live and back with another Bachelor recap of this season, and I'm joined by three lovely ladies today. So I will kick things off with I am Sarah with sarahscoop.com.
Hi, I'm Tracy from Colton's season 23 of The Bachelor.
I'm Ashley from season 22, Ari season.
And I'm Maquel from Ari season as well, season 22.
And we have Maquel is new to joining us today. Tracy and Ashley are returning. So, of course, we're going to cover new topics, but we will also hit on some of the things that I think we've kind of noticed and see the same ladies. Like, I want to hear what you guys are thinking of everyone. But let's start off just with last night's episode. What are your initial thoughts?
That was a big episode. Lots went down.
That was a good episode.
It really was. It was a really good one.
It started off with a very interesting challenge. I feel like that would be a tad uncomfortable, but I guess, you're in it to win it too. What did everyone think of the challenge and how everyone kind of performed with their writing, their stories, all of that?
I mean, I think they definitely met their goal of trying to make things uncomfortable.
I mean, Bachelor's very good at like the cringe, awkward dates, like making people really get out of their comfort zone. And I was like actually thinking, I'm like, dude, there's like dates that I could never do and I would literally like have a panic attack. I mean, that one's fine. But for us, we had to freaking wrestle people. I'm like,
That's true.
I would rather do that than what they did last night.
Like last night was definitely, I mean, it was pushing the envelope a little bit. Like on my first group date, we had to tell, oh my God, I forget like what it was exactly, but it was like a personal story. And I mean, mine got like pretty personal, so I feel like I could like,
oh my gosh,
I could have gotten into this date a little bit, but they were definitely pushing the envelope more than I feel like we usually see there.
And for people, like, I guess as a viewer, when we see these dates, are these all ideas that they have come up with on their own, like from your own experiences as well? Or do you feel like these stories, like if you were relating it to your challenges, kind of like Tracy, you were saying, when you write that story or anything like that, is it all, do you just get some time to yourself and you're writing it and it's all your thoughts?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I think that people obviously probably add in things just for like drama purpose. And, you get to like sit there and maybe talk to like the producers a little bit, whatever else, just to get the juices flowing. But yeah, I mean, in a situation like that, I think you're kind of just supposed to like go from personal experience and build on it.
Yeah, so let's talk then about some of the ladies. There was a lot that happened with everyone. Who stood out? I know there were some major, I don't want to call them characters, but kind of from last night's episode.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm really struggling with Sarah. She obviously stood out a lot. I feel for her in the sense that she's having a tough time and it's very difficult and she has a lot of personal things going on back at home. But I don't know. It's very reminiscent of Maquel our season with Crystal threatening to leave and then she wouldn't leave and, kind of like, oh, like beg for me to stay. So I don't know. I'm very conflicted with her and I better not see her in 2 weeks show back up and say
literally. I was actually just DMing Becca from our season, or Becca M. Martinez, and we were literally just saying, if she comes back, it's strictly for followers, it's strictly for fame. It's like she better not come back. Because if she does, it's, cringe.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is,
go
ahead, Tracy.
No, I was just going to say, like, since the week one, you guys have known that I've been, like, on Sarah's side. Like, I like her story and everything. But, this week, honestly, she started to piss me off a little bit. In my season, Hannah B actually pulled that same shit and didn't come out of her room for
Oh my gosh.
I don't know, the longest time, for days, a week. I don't even know. It was like an absurdly extended period of time. It was very frustrating. It was very, I need, like, I mean, not to like sound like a bitch, but it was very much like, I need attention. I need validation. And it was that constant, I'm going to apologize if I'm hurting your guys' feelings. I just needed to do this. And to me, it just like, that feels very narcissistic. Like, you think that your time is the only thing that matters, and you're going to apologize, but it's not a real apology because you still ultimately think that your feelings were the only
feelings that matter is she plays the poor
only thing that matters.
card.
Mhm.
She needs attention, the victim.
Mhm.
Like,
And again, I feel for her, obviously, with the situation with her family and stuff. Like, that obviously is very hard. She's been away from them already for an extended period of time. So they had to quarantine prior, all of that. And again, she doesn't have like the issues with her dad. Anything could happen at any moment. So for that, I definitely feel for her. I just think that it was very frustrating to watch.
With you. Like, I feel for her as well. That would be very hard to leave your family, but also you applied and you signed up and you knew what this whole experience was about. Like, why sign up to go on a show that you know you could be away? I'm sure that when you go through finals and stuff, like, you're told like you need to take time away from home for this amount of time. Like, why go through the process?
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm seeing
again,
her out with like G-Eazy, and it's like, I guess that was like prior, but it's like, okay, like, are you like clout chasing, or like, what are you trying to accomplish?
Well, not to mention, even though it's like week 3, like we've all been on there, and it's like week 3 is actually like what, a week and a half, like not even. And if you're having like these type of issues this far in, I'm scared.
Yeah.
But good thing is, like, you did the right thing and left.
And our comments are starting. I'm excited because this is a new program we're all talking on. So I think it's taking a little time to register on YouTube. But B Bean says exactly. So people are agreeing with us here.
Good. And I didn't like how they were all ganging up on her. I mean, I understand that the girls were upset, and like, I totally get it. I think they went in a little too hard on her. So I think it was really sweet that Katie, who was initially very irritated by her, kind of took the time to sit down and talk with her and empathize. And that was really nice. And it's like, okay, I get you're feeling badly, so leave.
And Katie did at one point say, you know, she wanted her to pursue it because she didn't want to, if she was picked, she didn't want to be the backup plan. Yeah. So I did like that too, that she mentioned that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very mature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't agree with them ever like ganging up on her in a way of like being aggressive. Like, I do think that it was good that finally one of the girls went to actually see what was going on with her and kind of understand her point of view, because no matter what, even if you are in the house with each other, you just kind of assume things a lot of times if you're not super close with someone and they're not really telling you what's happening. But I mean, it was, you know, both angles. It's very frustrating watching someone do that. And then also at the same time, like, there's ways to handle it that are appropriate, I guess, to not make someone feel even worse.
And how they all gathered together and she stayed in her room. Are you told, like, meet at this time, and she just chose not to come?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crystal from our season did the same thing. She
did the same thing
the entire time, which it's like, you don't know that you can even do that. So it's like, wait, what? I thought we were all forced to come down here, but you're allowed to do that. I have feelings too, and I would love to stay in my bedroom too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's
That's what I think
for everyone.
So fun about this is hearing the perspective from you guys that have already lived through this, because sometimes we watch it and we're like, oh, that's so, you know, oh, poor, you know, she's so sad, like, she's so lonely. But then you think about it and it's like hearing it from people that have already lived through this. It's like, why are you, you know, removing yourself from the situation just for the attention, or what, you know, like, what's going on?
Yeah. And it only makes it worse. Just isolating yourself so hardcore from everybody, just totally, it breaks the connection you have with all of the girls. It makes them feel a little disrespected because everybody else has to participate. So it's like, why are you special in a way?
Yeah.
Basically.
The other person I wanted to bring up, because we did talk about her a lot last week, was Victoria. I feel like she is still there, but maybe toned it down a little this episode.
I totally liked her more this episode. I was like, wow, she's kind of making sense. I agree with her a little bit.
Dude, I love her. Actually, not like that, but I love her because she's entertaining. It's like I watch this show for the entertainment aspect.
I think that you also saw this week that some of the girls, you can tell who actually is like friendly with her in the house. But they haven't exactly showed as much already, because before they were obviously making us see that everyone just like couldn't stand her almost. But now you started to actually see that girls were taking her side, and you can see that she's not fully hated in the house as much as people probably perceived her to be.
Oh yeah.
Because again, behind the scenes, once the camera's off, it's a very different story.
It's a different story, yeah.
Well, and I do think some of the editing, like you noted, I don't know, I noticed like it'll be she rolls her eyes or she says something and it cuts to her whenever. It could be a handful of other ladies doing that too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they definitely caught a few eye rolls from me that were like totally like unrelated to what was going on. I was like, I'm sorry, that wasn't at you.
And how's everyone feeling about Matt this week?
Good. He's still doing good.
He's fine. I was a little bored this week by him.
I don't like that he coddled Sarah so much. I mean, I guess he didn't really have a choice per se. That's always annoying, but yeah, he's still fine.
Yeah. I did notice after our chat last week the eyes open kissing. I like watched for it this week and I saw it.
What? I didn't even notice that. Eyes open kissing.
I didn't notice it until, was it Elise that brought it up on our chat last week?
I think so.
And then I was like, oh, I can see his eyes are open. It's like every time he kisses.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable to watch.
Tracy, had you already noticed it before we talked about it too?
Sorry.
Wait.
Had you already noticed it before?
I had seen people writing about it online because like I hadn't paid attention at first, but since obviously I'm on the West Coast, I see everyone's comments about things before it even airs here. So I had like seen it prior, so I knew to look for it.
Were there any? Yeah, you're gonna have to check it out and let us know if you see it this week. But were there any other ladies that you guys that stood out that you want to talk about? Still your favorites? Some you're ready to see go? Anything like that from this last week?
I'm happy that we got to see more of Serena P. She was someone who I wasn't really thinking about before, and I feel like she wasn't really highlighted. So I love to see her one-on-one.
I love her.
Yeah, I think she's really sweet, very natural, and just something about their conversations. It just seems like very believable. It doesn't seem like they're using the same list of words, this journey and I'm falling for you. It just seems like they're asking real questions about your real life and getting an actual connection. And she's just very, I don't know, she's very down to earth, very cool.
Yeah, she's very likable.
Marilyn got screwed. The fact that she got the Marilyn, is that her name?
Oh,
that got cut. Is that her?
Yeah.
No, you're right.
She was totally like, I feel like in there. And then all of a sudden randomly just got cut because of all the drama that happened.
Yeah.
You just got to be careful getting too involved in drama. I feel like it can always backfire on you, especially when you go to someone.
You don't even plan to get in it. Like it looked like she wasn't even trying to get into it, but someone brought her into it. Like Noah from last season.
That is a good comparison.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I'm trying my best, but this psycho person keeps bringing my name up and keeps trying to cause drama. I'm not about that.
Yeah. I almost wish the girls would have stood up for Marilyn a little bit more because they know what is really going on and they could have, I mean, it's not up to them, but I guess I would have liked if they would have spoken up for her. Yeah. Like how they were all very quick to kind of jump on Sarah because they felt, a way about it. I think they could have done Marilyn a solid.
Well, and even behind like her back, they were all saying like she's not like that. She's not like that. She would never. But it's like none of that was brought up to him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I told you guys last week I saw something, a behind the scenes shot about how Marilyn had supposedly put all of Victoria's suitcases and stuff out of the room in the hallway. So I do think that there's some stuff about her we just didn't see.
Really?
And it looked as though she was a victim, and maybe there's some stuff we just actually don't know that happened behind the scenes. Because it was like they were like legitimate pictures and videos that I saw like behind the scenes stuff. So I don't know. She might not have been as innocent as we think she was. I have no idea.
Yeah, that would make sense. Maybe that's why they didn't really speak up that much.
Yeah.
And Maquel, I know you weren't here with us before, but who are some of your favorites? Like, who have you been rooting for? Because I know each week we've kind of been sharing, but I want to hear from you too. Oh, I know you said Victoria, the queen.
I mean, she's not my favorite. She's only my favorite for the entertainment aspect. But when it comes to like actual favorites, I like Kayla. She's probably my favorite. Abigail, Maggie, and Serena.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot from Maggie. I want to see more of her.
She's so cute. I love her.
Mm-hmm. There's so, I feel like I think it was maybe Victoria was, or somebody said like, this isn't the Sarah show last night, but I feel like it totally was the Sarah show. And so we just didn't get to see many other women.
Yeah.
And I feel like as it goes on, it's always more fun because like we've talked about before, like you really get to see them, you get to know them. Like by the time of hometown dates, everyone's rooting for their favorites. With it being week 3, you guys mentioned this is like a week and a half into it. About what week do you feel like really the connections are there and it's a lot stronger?
I mean, I never had a one-on-one, but if I had to guess, I would say it would take maybe like 2 one-on-ones to actually feel like you have something there.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why when they're like bawling, crying at this stage, that they like feel like it's so hard, and it's like he's like still trying to remember your name. Like, please calm down.
Exactly. Every time I'd meet up, I'm like, do you remember my name? Like, I know this is like episode 3, and I've been on every group date, but like, remember me?
And that makes, I mean, it does make sense why some ladies act so, I don't know, memorable, not like memorable because they've got to stand out. I mean, you're right. Week 3 comes along, but if you're only seeing him in big group, like, how would you stand out?
By doing something crazy. You're being very vocal in your your interviews. If you're not being very vocal in your interviews, you're not going to get any airtime.
Yeah, that's true. And on group dates, it's difficult. Like you almost have to be that girl that's, you know, pulling him away and like really making it all about you. And it's kind of a double-edged sword because you do want the time, but then you're pissing everybody else off.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, and that was like last night with Sarah. Wasn't she the one that kept like that took him and then she was like, in 1 minute, I'll bring him back to you.
Yeah. Yeah, that was bold of her to go on somebody else's group date. I mean, and what she had to say wasn't anything that couldn't have waited either.
Yeah.
No, she actually didn't even approach the fact to him that she like wanted to go home at that point. When she talked to the girls about it, she just kept saying, I thought I wanted to go home, but she didn't really bring that up when she was talking to him. She basically was just telling him that like she missed him.
Yeah.
Tracy, you summed it up. And as we move forward, so I know that as we dive deeper into the episodes, we're going to have a lot more to talk about because everything is still, I feel like, very surface level. But I want to hear what you guys think. Like, it is, I don't even know who I think. I know we have our favorites, but I don't even know who has the strongest connection with him from what we can see.
Yeah, it is a little hard to tell at this point. I agree. I have my favorites, but I really don't know. And I'm not looking at the spoilers because I want to see it all play out. But yeah, it's hard to say at this point who the front runner is.
I feel like I have a feeling of who the front runner is, but I forgot her name.
Remind me who got the first impression, Rose?
No, I love her. But the girl who's a graphic designer, blue eyes, dark hair. Right, yeah.
What was
I
that?
feel like there's something going on. I feel like he likes her and she likes him. They're vibing for sure.
Yeah, like we haven't seen as much of her since the first episode.
Oh, on the group date.
Yeah, so we want some more comments on the group date. If you guys have anything else to say about your thoughts from the group date.
I mean, I wish I was there to listen to all of them.
Not
Because I live for cringe moments, and I feel like there was a lot of it there. Like, there was so many times on my season where I would just, like, bust out laughing at things that I'm like, I can't even believe I'm, like, here right now. And, like, this is happening. And I feel like that was that situation.
Yeah, I mean, they gave it their all, and I definitely would have liked to be there to hear exactly what.
You're like dying at your friend. You're like,
and like, how long was that date? Because we got to see probably the top things. I'm sure that was. How long are the group dates usually? Like, is that hours and hours of awkwardness that were probably happening?
Yeah.
with lots of like breaks in between here and there.
First of all, who knew that Chris Harrison actually write books, or was that just like a make believe thing? Because I like that was probably the most uncomfortable thing about the whole.
But like low-key, after like legit talking to him, I can totally see that.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like when I was at Lauren and Ari's wedding, I like hung out with him a lot, and I was like, oh my gosh, you are not like at all what I expected, but in a good way. Like he's hilarious.
Yeah.
Just like he's just so witty and like I don't know, but it was not what I expected.
Oh my
I meant to look that up and see if that really was his book too.
So funny.
But as we can kind of recap, I feel like we talked about the highlights from this episode, the crazy group date, Sarah, Victoria, everyone that kind of stood out. And as we move forward into the season, what are you guys hoping to see, or even just like reliving back to your moments on the show? Like, what do you expect, or what, like, even from Matt, like, as you guys said, he was just kind of almost just there. Like, I want him to do something more.
Man in the room.
Yeah, I think the drama kind of overshadowed him this week, and I doubt that it'll happen, but I hope that they focus a little bit less on the, kind of petty drama and more on the girls and, their stories with Matt and, exploring those connections. So I don't know. We shall see.
I think we just need like a couple more one-on-ones also. Yeah. Like the group dates are fun for our entertainment, but you don't really get anything out of that other than seeing like one or two people. Usually, drama is like ensuing, but you actually get to see like real stuff on a one-on-one. So in reality, I think we just like need a few more of those to get like actually deeper into each person and into the season.
I think that's what's missing. It's like we haven't seen any real connections, and like the whole idea of the story is they're gonna fall in love and get engaged, and it's like who should we be cheering for? Like, should we just enjoy humor?
Now we have new girls coming in also.
Oh my God!
So
I don't know why they did
that's just gonna take over like a new whole section of drama that's gonna like take away from us again getting to probably really know anyone. Like we're gonna have to see that first, and then they're gonna have to cut that down again.
So it's who is even coming in that's new? It'll be, we talked about her before.
It's like 5 new girls or something.
Yeah, 5 new girls plus a girl from a previous season. Wasn't she on your season, Tracy?
Yeah, Heather. She's Heather.
That's right,
She's
Heather.
has to come in. And I don't know when she actually gets there. We only saw the one preview like a few weeks ago, I think, of it, but I haven't really noticed it again. But I know that I saw last night a new girl coming in who seems like she's ready to start a little drama.
Yeah.
But like, who are these girls? Like, Heather came from another season. Were they originally supposed to be there and they just said, let's mix it up?
The rest of the girls, I have a feeling that they had them quarantining this whole time. I think that they like kept them back just to like drop them in at the right moment.
Yeah.
Which
I'm
is like,
gonna guess that they've all been there just sitting. What?
Mm-hmm.
That's like aggressive. Like they did that last season, which makes sense that they would do it for that season. But like it makes no sense. Like he has a lot of amazing girls, and it's gonna totally take away from them. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
yeah.
And even those girls, wouldn't it be awkward to like go in there?
Yeah, exactly. I would feel if I was already in the house, like to me that would mean, okay, does that kind of tell us that he doesn't really feel strongly enough about any of us here already? More
that's what I was thinking also. I mean, granted, they would have kind of had to be quarantining this whole time, so they would have had to be there for a little while. But yeah, I mean, I would think also that in the back of my mind, I'd be wondering if he was like, I don't know if I see any of these girls, or like Sarah left and she was it. Now I need a few new people to see if there's someone else in the mix. At least would be going through the back of my mind also, just like knowing that there were so many girls there already that he could have had an option with.
And you mentioned like they were quarantining, so you think, I mean, that is true. They were just sitting in their hotel rooms waiting all this time.
I mean, I think so. If you noticed last night, he was talking to one of the girls, I forget who, and they made a comment like, we've been here for 4 weeks already. And I was like doing the math, and I'm like, there's no way that's possible. And then I was like, oh my God, they were there quarantining. Like they had to be. So they actually been there for like a bit of an extended period of time, further than what it normally would be.
Right.
So if that's the case, then those other girls have just been chilling out this whole time.
Seriously. Room service.
That is so true. And I know you guys, we've covered a lot, and I really think like as we get to see more, and I mean, I'm interested to see who these women are and where they're coming from. Like, I still just don't understand that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be pretty. I'm very curious about who the rumored escort is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I didn't
Forgot about that.
Read the spoilers, but I saw in a Facebook group I'm in, and I didn't read it. I need to look at it because I'm interested to see, because it had like random screenshots that someone had shared of like their friend. Like that must be where it all circulated from. So I need to like go back and see who that was about. Because
the thing is, if you know you're into that, like why go on a show where you know that's inevitably going to be exposed? Like don't do that to yourself.
Or is that how you got on the show?
Yeah.
Did you had a big secret? You know, I don't know. Like,
okay.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a new girl. I bet it's somebody current.
Oh, really? Who do you think?
That's my guess, because how would they already be rumored, like circulating so much?
Yeah, that's true.
Actually makes more sense. I was kind of assuming it was just one of the new girls that came in. It probably makes more sense that it's someone that's there.
I don't know. I'll have to look for that. I'll find it. I don't know if I don't think I can share it, but I'll find it because I think it was like, don't share, but I'll share it.
I want to see.
So I guess we can kind of wrap things up here. Thank you guys all so much for joining me. As we finish, I want to hear just any last thoughts, shocking moments, anything that you're looking for. I liked how you guys are like, Matt needs a man up. I agree. Like, I just want him to, everyone likes him so much, but he's just got to be like the Bachelor.
Yeah, I think he's still kind of struggling with feeling comfortable in his role, I guess, for lack of a better term. So he just needs to kind of get rid of the nerves at this point and just be himself. And not that he isn't being himself, but just be comfortable with the girls and just, you know, relax.
Yeah.
I feel like he is kind of like coasting by a little bit at this point, and he's so nice and friendly and like kind to each of the girls, and not that he shouldn't be. Like, I hope that obviously sticks through to the end, but I feel like we're not seeing very much in regards to him. It seems very like surface as of right now.
Right.
So
yeah, and as much as the drama is fun to watch, like it is fun to get to see people actually meet through this whole experiment and
fall in love.
Yeah,
I'm like excited for some one-on-ones. I'm excited to like actually like see the girls for like who they are instead of the drama. Like the first few weeks are like the drama part, which is like the entertaining. But then after that, you're like, all right, let's cut to the chase. I want to see the real deal, and like I want to see that this is going to end in an engagement.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely just summed it up. I'm almost like, okay, I'm over the drama. Right. It's been like dragging on for all of these weeks.
Yeah, because at this point, honestly, like I felt a connection with him and Sarah. With everyone else, I'm still just kind of unsure. So I want to see like who else he like sincerely has a connection with.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. I am excited. We will be back again next week. And hopefully as this show just develops more, we will have even more to say and we can touch base on those rumors. We'll look into everything on our own as well. So again, thank you everyone for joining us. And thank you to all three of you for being such amazing guests. It has been wonderful to hear your perspective and breakdown on the show.
Of course.
Thanks for having me.